My average workday is 1 hour or less, and we're talking about a job with a 6-figure salary for a Fortune 500 company. Now, honestly, the main reason is because I'm remote, but more importantly, I've been remote for 5 years. I'm a ruthless over-optimizer, so over that time, I have picked up many tips and strategies while working 3 jobs that helped streamline my workload, not burn out, improve my focus, and most importantly, not ruin my back from tech neck, which almost happened. We'll start from the very high level and then we'll go down into the super granular tactical stuff. Starting with scheduling. The easiest way to burn out and ensure that your remote work won't last that long is by not setting parameters around your workday. We need to know when we're clocking in and when we're clocking out. And to do this, frankly, we need to stop being guilty. The setup is so good, our commute is 1 minute, and honestly, we feel bad and we want to give back by working harder. Almost like you owe it to them. But not only do you get diminishing returns the more hours you work per week, but also, let me let you in on a secret. You don't owe your company anything. That core workload, what you were hired for, is all you have to do. Everything else is just gravy. Now, working from home alone can halve your workload, but then we need to keep it that way. See, there's a temptation to feel bad and add on more work, so we're actually filling up that entire time. But again, just do what you were hired for and nothing more. Meaning, if someone messages you at 9 p.m., you absolutely do not answer them because you don't have to. Because we're going to set parameters. You work from this hour to this hour, and then you communicate that out to everyone. We need to display these hours publicly and include also the people that live with us, if there are any people, to make sure that they are not bothering us when we are supposed to be working. Next, lunch break. Leave your phone in your office and go and do something else in the middle of the day. This will allow you to come back stronger, it allows you to recharge, and then actually improves your focus when you get back to work. For me, I used to go to the gym during my lunch breaks, or I would go for a walk. Basically anything but just sitting in your office, scrolling on your phone. Most people don't work 8 hours anyway, and naturally there is a lull around lunchtimes. We need to take advantage of that and get a little bit of rest. Working remote, you can get away with seeing nobody. You can spend an entire month inside and no one will question you. And honestly, this is the fastest way to make yourself absolutely miserable. I've done it many times. And generally, we don't need to fill this hole that we have, community and friends with coworkers. They're not your friends, they're tools. I'm not a sociopath, I swear. Pick a sport or a nerdy hobby that forces you out of the house and to meet with people. For me, that was ping pong, which has been an absolute godsend. Not only does it fit nicely over my smooth brain, but it also gives me social pressure to go out and beat people. Which is great, because it's fun, I'm getting exercise, and I'm getting to socialize. Also, you can use these social events as extra deadline pressure to complete your work even faster. Next one I can guarantee you didn't expect. What you eat is more important than ever. Simply for the fact that you will be moving less. No longer are we getting those extra calories from walking from our car to the building or around the office. So we need to adjust what we are eating accordingly. And I hate tracking calories, but god damn it is it effective. Because I can guarantee you with absolute certainty that you have no idea how many calories you're eating. I've said this before, but there's a fantastic study where researchers asked people to estimate how many calories they were eating and the difference between the actual calories they were eating and what they thought was over 1,000 calories. That's an entire pizza that went missing. Even tracking your calories for 1 day, download MyFitnessPal, scan all the barcodes for what you're eating, can make a gigantic difference in letting you just adjust course to make sure that that one extra cookie you're eating is not compounding over years and years and years to make you fat. Don't guess. Collect the data, and then adjust accordingly. Speaking of which, how do we know how many calories are in food? Let's go on an autistic tangent. If you don't care, skip to this timestamp. It's fascinating. Actually, back in the day, what they would use is called a bomb calorie meter, and it is as cool as it sounds. We would dry out food and then place it into a sealed container, and then that would go inside basically a vault that was surrounded by water. The only other thing was an ignition coil, which, when used, would light the food on fire, warming the water around it, and then, based on how much the water rised, we could tell how much energy was released from the food burning. Which is great, But then scientists made the shocking discovery that when we eat food, we are not burning it with our stomach. So now, in today's world, we have a much more boring way of doing calorie calculations. It's basically just math. We know the macros in the food, and there's a ratio between how many calories are in protein, carbs, fiber, so then we just multiply it by how many there are in the food. It's boring. I think we should go back to burning our food. Anywho, hello skippers. Let's go through some rapid fire tips. First, get yourself a water bottle, a big one. I know that you are not drinking enough water. You should be drinking about 3 liters a day. If you have just a little cuppy, that's not going to do it. And if you're dehydrated, you are not working at your highest potential. And you also probably aren't if you're working naked. I love not wearing clothes, but we can create a signal to ourselves that the workday has started if we put on clothes. That doesn't mean putting on a suit, but just putting on regular human clothes. It sounds stupid, similar to Pomodoro. Set a timer for 50 minutes, work until the end of it, and then take a 10-minute break. The idea sounds so simple, but god damn it, does it work well, particularly if you have ADHD. Next up, overnight oats. Ooh, I don't ever have to think about my breakfast because I go downstairs and then I grab my glass container filled with oats that I put in the night before and I eat it. It's spectacular. 120 grams of oats, 200 grams of soy milk, a little bit of sugar, and maple syrup. It's spectacular, and sometimes I add strawberries and blueberries. Bam, you'll never get bored of it. If you do, just change the fruit. It has tons of protein, tons of carbs, and it tastes great. Give it a try. Next up, have a dedicated workspace. Do not work in your bed. And if you don't have that much room, just use a different part that you never use, which is only dedicated to doing work. Similar to putting clothes on, it puts our brain in the mindset of work mode. Our brains are stupid. We need to treat them as such. But also, switch it up. If you feel yourself starting to get a little lethargic, go to a coffee shop, go to the park, work in various different places, and then when you come home eventually back to your trusty setup, it will feel new. Next up, organize your cords. And specifically actually organize your general desk area. Buy a few of these things or these things. They'll save your life. Speaking of which, also, get yourself a good headset. There is nothing like being able to put on the headset and walk around while you're in meetings that don't matter. Now, we need to make sure that we don't end up looking like this, which I will make a whole separate video about. But 1 year ago, I would finish almost every single workday with lower back pain, which I thought was kind of a problem until it got worse, and then my fingertips started to go numb, which, if you know, is a surefire path to then having back surgery. So we will have none of that. And the main thing that I messed up was the ergonomics of my office. For starters, don't raw dog your laptop. Get a second monitor. It drastically improves your productivity, and it makes sure that you're not staring down the whole time hunched over your laptop. Now we want to set it up to where the top of the monitor is at about salute level to ensure that when we're actually looking at the monitor, our gaze is slightly down, because perfect posture is not a 90-degree angle. It's actually looking slightly downward. Then we want to make sure that we're sitting with a proper neck. My posture coach has told me that we want to think that there is a string that connects from the top of our head to our bunghole, and we are pulling that string up. Then how we sit is important. Your seat height dictates everything. We want our feet to be on the floor and our knees bent at 90-degree angles. We should be sitting at a seat depth of 2 to 3 fingers between the edge of our chair and our knees. And our arms should be at 90 degrees, not reaching out, which forces our neck to extend. And the easy fix for this is getting yourself a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard. Again, don't raw dog your laptop. And generally speaking, there is no such thing as perfect posture. This is no worse than this, depending on how long we sit in that position for. Both are equally bad if we sit there all day in that same position. Humans aren't built for sitting, so we need to ensure that we are varying how we are sitting. And the easiest way to do this is by getting a standing desk. I'm ashamed to admit that my first 2 years of working remote, I didn't have a standing desk. I heard everyone talking about it, but I blew it off as just an unnecessary upgrade. It's not. It's so good. Lastly, invest in yourself. And I don't mean in the stock market. I mean that working remotely, you will have an insane amount of free time, similar to when you started college and you're shocked by actually how much free time college kids have. Make sure you're allocating time to learning. Hire a coach, take a course, learn something new. Your time is extremely easy to squander, and particularly in the gaps, because nobody is looking. A meeting ends 20 minutes early. Instead of thinking, how can I squash this time, and pulling out our phone and scrolling, think about how you can make progress towards a new goal. Again, no one's looking, so we can do whatever. Don't just let yourself scroll or watch TV. Sadly though, you can do all of this and it still won't matter, because you haven't fixed one teeny tiny issue: procrastination. But lucky for you, I made a video all about it.